Hello and welcome back to another video. Today here again on Forza Motorsport to take a very first look at the brand new Update 6, which amongst other things finally changes the controversial car progression and upgrade system in the game. Also, you may have noticed straight away, this is a different music track in the home setting. There are 8 new tracks added when you're sat here in Forza Vista. So let's kick off today's video by taking a look at the updates to the car progression system. Essentially, we can now apply any upgrades to a car immediately from level 1, and we can do so by purchasing car points if we haven't earned enough of them through driving a car aimlessly for hours. I first tried this by buying a brand new MX-5 to kind of show off that it is a brand new car at level 1, and that you can just go out and buy a car and upgrade it, and headed to the upgrade shop, where as you can see I was able to apply all of the parts that I wanted to, without anything being shown as not yet unlocked. After this, you attempt to apply the upgrades by leaving the shop, at which point the game tells you that you don't have enough car points. This is where you can then select the option to purchase more car points, which I of course couldn't afford because I haven't really been playing this game all that much recently. These car points though cost 4,500 per 500 car points, making each car point worth 9 credits in effect. This, actually to be fair, rather large change does seem to be instead of a new track this month. The next new track will apparently be with us in April, and the rumours are that it will be none other than Brands Hatch. So although these changes to the car progression system are most welcome, and I like to be able to buy parts for my car rather than use points for it, I would have preferred they just completely removed it, to be honest. It is still a bit of a faff, going and applying everything and then having to go through several menus of yes, I want to buy points, and all of this afterwards. Now, Turn 10 said it was so deeply implemented into the game that they couldn't just literally remove the whole thing, so I guess that's why, and whether you believe that or not, that is their reason for not fully removing it, which I would have slightly preferred if it had been possible. So then, apart from the car progression, what else is new? Turn 10 have also added some different lighting options to the livery editor, which would be incredibly useful if I could successfully import my layer groups, which I know I keep complaining about, but it is still broken, and they're not acknowledging it, even though many people have had the same issue. They have also, to my surprise, actually moved the Daytona pit exit to be in the correct place. So super pleased to see they've been listening to complaints and have done something about it, although, to be honest, it should have been in the correct place in the first place, rather than just being copied from the previous game. There is, though, now that the update is released, a known issue with it. You don't actually regain control of your car on exiting the pit lane quite as soon as you should. So the AI is still controlling you as you drive out into the traffic, which was part of the issue of the pit lane being in the wrong place in the first place. So they did tell us about both of these changes when they talked about this update before it released, but when the update released they also give a huge list of fixes and changes that they have done on top of this. So I'm not going to be testing all of them, but let's quickly take a look at them. There have been fixes to stability, numerous fixes. They've made VRAM estimates more accurate on PC, and realigned the name over cars for ultra-wide resolutions, which I can't test anyway because I'm not using that. There have also been improvements and fixes to the AI, and penalties are more accurate in assigning fault to side swipes in featured multiplayer. Usually I would check most of these car fixes, but there are many of these listed here in this update. Turn 10 say, though, that all of these have been fixed in this update, and if the previous couple of updates are anything to go by, the fixes do actually seem to be implemented this time, because in some of the early updates they weren't. There have also been all of these fixes to the gameplay, which again there is quite a comprehensive list of. There's been these fixes to the livery editor, although like I say I'm not really interested in that anymore until I can actually import my layer groups. And these fixes to the photo mode, customization, accessibility, wheels, and rendering. It is an insanely long list of supposed fixes, so it would take an absolute age to test all of them. But like I say, going by the last few updates, the fixes listed do seem to mostly actually get fixed in these updates now, unlike in some of the earlier releases. Implementing quite so many fixes has probably been possible, as not much new really, apart from the big one, the upgrade system, has actually been added in this particular update. So I did already cover the new campaign and online events in a video about this update before it actually dropped, so I'll keep this part of the video quite brief. But if you go to the career mode, you will find that the new featured tour is all about combustion. So this week we have 4-Cylinder Fury, which is all about 4-cylinder cars, and the Alfa Romeo 4C is the spotlight car in the dealership, which is new to this game but not to Forza. Next week there's the Super 6s, all about 6-cylinder cars. The Skyline is the spotlight car, but that is already in this game. Same with the Charger in the third week, that is already in this game, but we have a V8 series with that as the spotlight car. Then we have V10 Titans with the Lamborghini Huracan as the spotlight car, which is new to this game but not to Forza. And the reward is the Pagani Zonda Cinque, which again is new to this game but not to Forza. Then over in the Standard Builders Cup, if we go to the Open Tour, this is all pretty much as you'd expect. You've got C, V, A, and S, and the prize is the Ferrari 599XX, which again is new to this game but not to Forza, and I don't quite know why some of these cars are in here. For example, the 599XX, we already have the 599XX Evo. The Huracan, we already have the Huracan Evo, and yeah, it just feels like the cars in the campaign are not terribly exciting this time round. Over in featured multiplayer, we have the M3 Spec Series for another 6 days, we have Formula Mazda Series, the Touring Car Series, and the GT Series, as well as the open events being themed around different numbers of cylinders each week, starting with the 4-cylinder series, which ends in 6 days' time. Then if we head over to Rivals, there are some new featured events. There's the Forza GT Spec event, so usually this one that lasts for the whole update would be based around the new track, but there isn't a new track, so it's any Forza GT cars around Silverstone for the month. And then each week we're going to have a Spotlight Rivals with the Spotlight car. So this week it's the Alfa Romeo 4C at Abu Dhabi, and then the subsequent weeks will be the other Spotlight cars at some various other tracks. There is also a VIP Rivals event, Daytona Drizzle, so you take the 2020 Corvette Stingray Forza Edition for some laps of the Daytona Sports Car course. The other perk, if you are a VIP member, so if you've bought the Ultimate Edition essentially, is that you get 15% off the McLaren F1 in the car dealership, which means I still can't afford it. So although there's no new to Forza cars in the campaign, in the car pass we do have another 4 brand new to Forza vehicles. So we've already been given, at the point of this video going out, the 1983 Nissan number 23 Nissan Motorsport Silvia Super Silhouette, which has an incredibly long name, but it's a super cool car. So next week, on the 20th of March, we'll be given the 2019 Toyota 86 TRD SE, which I said previously is a bit too similar to standard 86s that we've driven in other Forza titles, but still a cool car, I suppose. In the third week, on the 27th of March, we'll be getting the 2020 Lexus number 14 Vassar Sullivan RCF GT3, which more GT3 cars are always welcome. We are kind of lacking them a little bit in this game. And in the fourth and final week, on the 3rd of April, we have the incredibly cool 1986 Lotus number 12 Team Lotus 98T, which I believe is pretty much the end of Car Pass. And, well, the list of all of the Car Pass cars was leaked a little while ago, and there is one quite obvious omission from it. It's been entirely correct, that leaked list, apart from one thing, the McMurtry Spearling, which I am actually quite disappointed to not have seen in the game, and I don't really expect it to be added into the main game if it's not in the Car Pass. And that is going to be all for today's video, taking a very first look at Forza Motorsport's brand new Update 6. So yes, there is no track, but the changes to car progression are long overdue, and it's good to see such a long list of fixes and improvements. Hopefully, though, the rumours are correct and we get brands hatched next month, though. As ever, do let me know your thoughts on Forza Motorsport at the moment and on this update. But for now, that is going to be all, so thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with the next one very soon.